Hi everyone, welcome to this video. In this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to review some trades that I've taken in 2013 just to give you a bit of a sample and a bit of understanding of some of my decision making in the live market. So it will just show you some of the components that I use when it comes to price analysis, how I'm able to use that effectively to create the results that I get, as well as how I then bring my strategy in. So it just gives you a little bit of a flavour. So we're going to look at 4 of my trades today. Now we'll just crack on. One of the trades that I took in 2013 was Australian dollar versus Canadian dollar, which you'll see up here. Now the trade that I took was in and around this level. So I took a short trade from this, basically with this move down, and I was also looking for subsequent moves which didn't then materialise back to these lows, but I played it in 2 parts, one part here and then looked at the second part here. Now when we look at this, if we just look at the daily chart, there isn't really too much that we can see that would say, well, why would you take a trade there? What is it about this area that looks interesting to you, or justifiable? Because one of the things we always say is only trade at a support or resistance. It's when we go up to the higher time frame. So this gives you an example of using multiple time frames. But what you'll notice, if we go up to the weekly, we've got a really nice sort of area in and around here. What we've also then got, we've got some Fibonacci just in here, the 50%, and we've got 2 significant moving averages. So what you can see is quite clearly this is one hell of a strong area of resistance. So this is why I was very much tuned into this area. So from there, now that I've established this area, now what I'll do is just draw a little line on 10,000 that will drop down for us so we can see it. 10,000. I'm also going to take the lows, and I'll explain why just in a moment, and we'll pop the fibs back on, and you'll just understand why I get in where I get in. So let's go back to the daily. So you can now see that we've got these levels. So there's the big round number at 10,000. There's the Fibonacci, and there's the lower area of the resistance. Now the reason I wanted to show you this is it wasn't until on the 29th of October that we got a close below that resistance, and it's just a minor close, but we also get a move down as well that I was then able to put my order in. So with this trade, I was able to get in on a break of this level here, which is below the daily moving averages. My initial stop played up here, and my initial target was down round about here, just above the 9600, based on again where I see the next level. So you can see that I've got a nice risk to reward. Now it played out quite nicely. When we came down, pulled back and broke down again, I was able to readjust my stop at this point as well, so I got to break even. So from a trade management perspective, it played out really well. So what you can see from this trade, guys, is it's very clear that if we can isolate the key areas of support and resistance, then we can play it through, because as you look at the candles, it's not until we get this high created here and then a close below it do we actually look like we could start to move down. Up until that point, we either get up days or we get indecision. So it was only at this stage did it start to look better for the downside, and then subsequently it broke down, pulled back, broke down again, pulled back, and then finally came down and hit target. So that was a nice winning trade. It did it would have done about, what is it, 300 points, about 250 points that one did, give or take a couple of points. So the next one we'll look at is pound versus New Zealand dollar. So I just need to find on my list. There we go, pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, now I've already isolated this one. So this one was back in September last year. Now what's interesting about this one is a losing trade, but this is a great example of what can happen in trading. It got very close to target, reversed. It did eventually come down and hit target, but I was stopped out of this trade. Now what you'll see firstly is what we've got here is the trend line coming up. So I've used these price pivots, this one here and this one here. We could also consider using a subsequent one which might be something like this where we factor in these other levels, but the bottom line is we've got this trend line. The other thing that I noticed from a price movement point of view, and this is another key component when you're doing your price analysis, is the market at this stage has stopped trending because it's no longer giving us higher highs and higher lows. At this stage, it's actually starting to go into a wide consolidation, which is proving that the uptrend is potentially over. Now, when we come into this trend line area here, which is a sort of minor support area as well, you'll notice that we then consolidate. So my trade in this example was looking for a play down to this level. Here, back down to about 19,000, a break below the lows, my initial stop was above the high here. So what you'll notice is, again, my risk to reward's quite healthy, a little over 1-to-1, which is the minimum I sort of suspect. We get very close. It was literally 50 points from target, which would have presented, I think it would have worked out about 320, 330 points. So what you'll see is, if we then play it out, it got very close, it started to reverse. Now, looking at this, there's not too much opportunity for me to move my stop loss if I just look at it because of the way it's played out. So sometimes you just got to accept that, you know, there's nothing you can do, and this can happen where you get really close to target and trades reverse on you. If it happens enough, then I can look at my exits and say that I need to pull it in a little bit, but it hasn't happened enough for me to change anything. So from here, you'll see we come up, we get this spike just here, which funnily enough comes back into the trend line. That obviously stopped me out, and then we roll over and hit target, just to put a bit of salt in the wound. But it's another good example where what we're showing you on this occasion is a little bit of the price movement and how the structure there combines together. We come back down to this level, which is, guess what, where we start to reverse. We push up, we react to this level, and you can just see the structure has played out beautifully in this market, and it's just one of those that it didn't quite work out for me on this occasion. Next one we're going to look at is Cad versus the Yen. So Cad Yen was here. Now, what's really interesting about this one is, in fact, sorry, it's further along. Here it is here. Now, this is quite an intricate little trade, just from the point of view that it's not maybe the biggest move that I certainly took last year, but what you'll notice is we've got this really easy to spot area of resistance here. One hit, two hit, and we come up to it again and we consolidate here. You can just see because I've got the box on. Now, if I then go to the weekly, because again I need to use the higher time frame just to get a sense of the levels, and then if I squeeze this in, what you'll notice if we look at the weekly was we've got this level here, which is where we start, then we've got some space up to this next minor level, then we would have space up to here. Now what you'll notice is price has actually come up, bounced off this minor level, and since basically rolled over beautifully. But where I had the tradable opportunity was take the play from here up to here. So if we go back to the daily, what you can see is those two levels lined out. So again, what I got was I get a nice sort of pause round at this level. I get in just above here. My stop was just below this low initially, and then I was able to move it to here. So I was quite quickly able to move my stop based on the candles. So again, candles are an important part of your price analysis. And then I get out round about here, and what you'll notice, it got close on two occasions, and then it finally came up and hit target. So again, very similar to that last trade, but on this occasion it did go on and hit target. And the last one we'll look at is Euro Aussie. Now, Euro Aussie is probably the quickest and simplest of the lot. Very similar to the last one. We came up, we've hit these couple of levels. If we go back to the weekly, what we'll see again is if we break this level, we've got space up to this level, and if we break this level, we've got a good chance of making it to this level. So in this example, the trade that I took last year was once we had broken, now I didn't quite get a full-on consolidation at the level, so once it had broken, then it consolidated. So in this example, it was a quite short and sweet trade. Get in on a breaker there, stop down here, target up around here, back at this level, and again there we go. So yeah, so that just gives you a little sample of the different components I use in my analysis, as well as the trades that I have taken, that we've both sent out to people as part of our signal service, just as far as trades that we're interested in. It doesn't mean we trade all of the signals, as well as getting to show people the trades I'm taking, that I'm in at the moment, and the analysis I'm doing as part of the Gold membership. Now, if you're interested in just learning a bit more about how to be more effective with your price analysis, how to bring these different components into your strategy and into your daily trading plan, and how to marry it all together, what we've put on is we've got the Advanced Price Analysis Workshop. This just gives you some information regarding it. It's a 2-day event that we run, but it's thoroughly about combining the different components of price analysis, the ability to marry that with strategy, and to get you organised so you can create a consistent approach to your trading. So if you want to find out more about that, just visit the website www.tscmember.co.uk, and if you hit the events tab, you'll see the workshops in there. But I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.